Hey lovelies, I am here for a little what's in my makeup bag, what's in my travel bag, what the heck, how was I able to get on a plane with just a carry-on video today. That's probably not going to be the title. I don't think that'll all fit, but basically I'm here to share with you what I took to LA with me for my recent work trip. I have never, ever flown with just a carry-on. And since it was a very dashing trip, I don't know if I was there for like 36 hours. I was like, okay, you can do this, Kelly. You can do this. You can travel with just a carry-on. Did I do it? Yes. I am going to share with you the things that I took. Some of these, of course, are tried and true products. Some are quite a bit newer to me. Some of them I wish that maybe I had swapped out for something else, and some I'm so glad that I brought. So we're going to dive into that, but if we haven't met before, my name is Kelly and I'm a professional hair and makeup artist, and here on my channel I strive to keep beauty real. Real honest, real relatable, and real fun. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. So let's go ahead and dive right in. I'm going to show you what's in this case and what's in this little bag, because that's all I took when it came to beauty products. So first off the bat, I'm going to just throw it out there that when it came to hair care, I brought very, very little. So I pretty much spent all of a Monday getting to LA, and then spent Tuesday at the studio with Paul Mitchell, and then spent Tuesday night into Wednesday morning in airports trying to get home, and jumped off the plane and went to the salon. So I just wanted to throw that out there that I knew I was going to need very, very minimal hair care product, because I'm lucky enough that as long as I've, timed out the hair washing, my hair will be pretty good. So the only hair product that I took was the Marula Oil Light Rare Oil Dry Mist. Unfortunately, Paul Mitchell doesn't make this anymore, but this was hands down one of my favorite heat protectant sprays, because I knew I was probably gonna be touching up my hair in the morning. So I wanted to make sure that I had something as far as heat protectant goes. And since this is a nice little can and it has a locking spray mechanism, this was perfect for me. Now, under other circumstances, or once this is gone, I will go back to my hot off the press from Paul Mitchell. I love that as well. It just doesn't smell quite as good. And this one definitely gave me an extra dose of shine, which my coarse hair can use, definitely. But that is it. That is all I brought. Now, what I always recommend to people, if you do need to take travel sizes, unless it is something like an aerosol or like a foam, just go to Target or Walgreens and get the little like squeezy tube travel thingies and transfer some of your larger size products. It just is not that cost effective to have travel sizes. I am just going to say that. Like at my salon, I don't keep them in stock because it's like for the price, it is just not worth it. You're better off to just go and buy a travel kit that you can have and fill it with your favorite products. So that's what I tell my clients to do. They come into the salon, they get their big normal sizes of shampoo, and I just tell them to transfer a few ounces to the smaller containers. It's much more cost effective, and at the end of the day, it saves plastic because you're not constantly having to buy little travel sizes, which I love as well. Let's be kind to the earth, people. Okay, so now we're gonna move into some other things. Let's go ahead and dive into some skincare. So I just rated my little like skincare sample hoard, trying to find things that I could take with me. And when I'm traveling, I try to keep my skincare really pretty simple, especially since I knew I was only going to be gone for like one night. I knew I didn't need to bring all the lotions, potions, serums, all of that. So I just grabbed this little travel size of the Kiehl's Ultra Facial Cleanser. This one I've talked about before. It's a great sort of basic everyday cleanser. It's not overly stripping. It just helps really get my face clean. It lathers up nicely. I really do like this one. Now I was thinking when I went that I was going to add some sort of a serum. I have some different little samples. I grabbed this Estee Lauder Advanced Night Repair Serum. I do actually like this. I've never bought it in a full size, but I just keep getting like samples all the time. I brought this with. I didn't end up using it because before I went, I was a little heavy on like using all my acids, and I was like a little pink. So I thought, okay, let's just cleanse and moisturize, keep it simple, let your skin calm down. So I didn't actually use this one. What I use for my moisturizer, I found this little Lala Retro Whipped Cream moisturizer in my bigger travel bag. So I just like saw it in here. I was like, oh, great. I'm just gonna grab that one, throw it in. I kind of regret that for two reasons. So you will all have to let me know if you have smelled this product. So it doesn't smell bad. It just doesn't smell good. Like, as I pulled it out, I was like, is this going off? So please let me know, because I need to know, like, I know that Drunk Elephant doesn't put fragrance and those types of things in their products, so maybe it just smells like the ingredients. It doesn't smell really off. It just doesn't smell very good. So this is what I used. In retrospect, I wish that I brought something lighter weight. Now my skin is really normal to dry, especially in the wintertime. It's definitely more dry, but between the travel, I think my skin was all wonky, and also with it being summer, my skin is more normal. And LA was humid, y'all. I was in the Santa Monica area actually, and it was humid. It was humid, and so I had this moisturizer on, and then my complexion products were a little bit glowy as well. And like throughout the filming day, I just kept having to like blot, powder, blot, which is not my normal life. So I was like, yeah, maybe I needed something a little less hydrating. So this is one, if y'all say that it still smells okay to me, this is one that'll be going in my like winter travel bag, which I think is probably where this was. I just quickly grabbed it. I was like, yep, we're just gonna take this one and go, and it was fine. So really, for like skincare wise, that was it. That was all that I took. I think if I was going to be gone for a couple more days and I still wanted to just have a carry-on, I would just have a couple sample packets of the like serums that I like to use. Really, for just 2 days, I don't feel like I need to bring my whole entourage. You know, normally I have an active that I'm putting on in the morning and an active that I'm putting on at night. If anything, maybe I would just take like one of them and choose to keep one at home. For me, like travel skincare is just about simplification. Okay, so let's get into some of this makeup. So for skin prep, the product that I brought was the One Size Secure the Blur Makeup Magnet Primer. I thought that this would be a good option for the day that I was filming. I knew that I was going to be on camera, and I knew that like my skin was going to get glowy. While this isn't necessarily like a super oil control primer, I thought that it would just like blur some imperfections. Now, this definitely did not control any oil whatsoever at all, but I did feel like my makeup went over it smoothly. I don't really wear primer a lot, and this was something that I liked. Now, you will notice that I did not talk about sunscreen. I actually did not bring a sunscreen. I thought about it, and I was like, I am literally not going to be outside at all. I was like, yeah, I'm like, it's dark by the time I get there. I'm basically not going to spend much time at all outside. If I was, I would have brought one, but I didn't. So, you know, it was one day, y'all. Like I just had to make some choices. So the other thing I did bring was some MAC Fix Plus. I thought that this would be great just for like a skin refresh spray if I needed it. Of course, I also brought it to dampen my eyeshadow brush with the eyeshadows that I will be talking about in a little bit. I also needed a makeup setting spray. Now, this is a very old, very grungy looking bottle of Urban Decay All-Nighter. That, however, is not actually what is inside of here. What is inside of here is the Skindinavia makeup finishing spray. This guy was empty, so I just put a little bit of this in and traveled with this. I have to have a makeup setting spray. It's just something that I need to have, especially when I'm going to have a long day under studio lights. I was like, all right, we got to make sure that the face doesn't slide off. Okay, we are going to kind of be going out of order because I'm just pulling out everything that was in my little like liquids bag first to show you, but that's, you know, that's how I traveled. I put all of my powder products in my carrying case, and then I just stored all of my liquids in this little not so classy Ziploc. Let me tell you, the day before I left, I went to go find like a cute little quart-size baggie, and my drugstore just didn't have any. I was like, surely they have to have something, and they didn't. So I was like, well, we're gonna just find a Ziploc and take that. But anyway, for the other products that I took, you probably won't be surprised to know that for my complexion product, I went ahead and took my Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue. This is the shade Ginger number 6, which is my summer shade. It's almost gone. Look at that right there. In fact, when I was there, I was like, oh my, am I gonna have enough? I need to squeeze this out. But that is just my ride or die. I know it always looks good. I did know, especially once I put on that Drunk Elephant moisturizer, I was like, ooh, we're gonna be glowy, because this is a medium dewy product. You know, I mean, it's a tinted moisturizer, for goodness sakes. So I was like, whew, we're gonna have a little bit of glow. I was hoping that my powder would pull me through. I'll get into that in a little bit, but I knew I was gonna have a little bit of glow. So the other face products that I brought, I pulled out an old classic that I'm trying to get through, but I do really love this one. How many of you remember this? This is the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops in the shade Sunkissed. This is what I used for my bronzer. I really love this. They didn't make it. I did hear that they brought it back. If they did, I highly, highly recommend if it's the same formula. I love these. I've had this one for so long, and it just is the perfect natural looking bronzer. So I took that, and of course, if you know me, You know, there's no way that I was only gonna bring one blush. I didn't just bring two either. I have one other one to share with you after this, but I decided to go with the Flower Blush Bombs. I have the shade Nectar and Spiced. These I love. I've talked about the blush bombs over and over. They just apply beautifully. They sheer out beautifully. They mix really well. I was very happy to have these. I did wear both of these, and I also wore the other blush. I wore 3 blushes, y'all. Do not judge me. So then for a bit of highlight, I knew that I wasn't going to want something very ba-bam. I wanted something pretty subtle. I did decide to go with the Auric Glow Lust, and all I did was put it in one of these little travel size guys. I decided to just take a couple dabs of Morganite with me, and that is actually what I wore on the day of filming, just a bit on the cheeks. So what else do I have in here for creams? Oh, I do have the Oma Stay Woke Concealer. That is what I took for my concealer. I love this one. This is just a ride or die, tried and true. For complexion, I am not gonna goof around. When it comes to my foundation and concealer, when I travel, I'm going to use something that I know that I love. That is not the time. That is not the time to be having discoveries, if you know what I'm saying. So I also brought a couple of Color Fix. I brought Nude 2 and Nude 4. I just talked about these in my one and done shadows. I talked about number 4 being a great one and done if you're just looking to, like, you know, really balance out your eyelid and have a beautiful, bright, fresh look. So I brought these thinking that I would maybe want to use them as my base for my eyeshadow look, because I knew we were probably going to be on set for a really, really long time, and I did not want to have any creasing. So I brought these along. And then lip products. Let's talk about the lip products that I took. Oh, I did also bring a little mini mascara. This is the Marc Jacobs at Lash. I love this mascara. I just knew it's a small one. I know that I like it, so that's the one that I chucked in here. So I did bring 3 lip products. I went with Velvet Petal from Lisa Eldridge. So this I thought would just be a really nice, you know, beautiful, like, peachy pink nude. And then I took 2 of the Superstay Vinyl Ink from Maybelline. So I actually have one on today, neither of these shades, but I took the shade Peachy and I took Koi with me. So if you do want to know my thoughts on these and the other 2 like vinyl long-lasting shiny lip products that I did this like beauty battle with, I will make sure to have that video linked here and down below in the description box for you. But I did take 2 of these. This shade that I have on right now is Dainty, by the way. So the one that I ended up going with actually was Peachy. I just swatched everything that morning after I got my eye look on, and I was like, yeah, I think that's going to be the one that I go with. So that is what I wore. So that is all of the liquids that I took, which I think I did a pretty good job of, especially knowing that I am such a cream lover. I really thought about not bringing cream blushes or cream bronzers, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I feel very confident in cream makeup. And so I just had to go with my gut, and it worked out because I loved my makeup look. Other than the fact that I got a little extra glowy, I really loved it. So I have no regrets at all for bringing the creams. Now let's get into some of the non-creams that were here in my case. Okay, so really quick, just in case you're curious, this is my Laura Mercier case that I have. You can't get this anymore. I totally was influenced by Kathleen Lights back in the day when she talked about this. It's really nice. It's like a semi-hardcover case, but Laura Mercier doesn't make it anymore. But that's what I've always been traveling with. Y'all, do you know what I did? So here is what I thought that I was bringing. I thought I was bringing the Glossier Brow Flick in brown, and I thought I was bringing my Benefit brow pencil, the one that, is it Precisely My Brow? That's what I thought I was bringing. But no, what I grabbed was this brow microfilling pen in light brown. I brought 2 freaking pens. I brought 2 pens, and I don't love this one. This is that weird, like, multi-tip felt one. I did, speaking of Battle of the Beauty, or Beauty Battle, I did this versus the Anastasia pen back in the day. This I'm just trying to use up. I mostly just, like, use this to darken in a little bit. I was like, I don't have any pencil. I didn't have a powder that I could use, because I'll get into that in a minute. I was like, oh my God. It worked. It was fine. I just kind of regretted it. I was like, wow, I just grabbed that thinking it was a pencil, and it was not. I also brought the 24-hour brow setter. Yes, this is technically a liquid slash cream slash gel. I knew that maybe it would get chucked, but I took the chance and packed it in my bag. TSA, if you're watching this, you can come get me now. But so I took the 24-hour brow setter. Made my brows work, not a big deal. So I did also, in fact, I think I just keep this in my travel kit. This is the Kat Von D tattoo liner. I just keep one of these in here. And then I did take the Lisa Eldridge lip pencil, the Enhance and Define lip pencil in Affair. Didn't end up wearing that one. And then I took some Moxie Lash Lashes glue because I did bring a pair of lashes. Didn't end up putting them on, but let me just grab those here. I thought, you know, if there's any day to be wearing lashes, it's going to be a filming day. And I just didn't, but I did bring my brand new fresh pair of Baby Lash. You know that I love these. If you haven't heard about Lashes, I've talked about them a couple times here on my channel. Actually, the Lashes video is like still my top performing video of all time. So if you want, I'll go ahead and make sure to have those down in the description box if you want to check those out. But I love my Lashes. I just didn't wear them. I didn't feel like it that morning. So what else did I bring here? So for powder, I did have two. I always keep this little baby Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder in my bag. I think I got this in like some set and it's just always in here. It's lasting me forever and ever. I did also decide to bring the Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder from Charlotte Tilbury. I love this one. Look, I actually have a good bit of pan in there. Check that out. So I thought that I would like to have that for like setting under the eyes in the morning. So that's what I did. I set under the eye with this and I set my face with this. Now, like I mentioned, I was getting glowy throughout the day, so I was glad that I had the Hourglass powder with me because I used it twice to just touch up throughout the day with a big fluffy brush, which I'll talk to you about because it was the first time that I'd ever used the brush. But I was glad to have this one on hand because this is a powder where you can do a couple layers of it and not feel like hella chalky, hella cakey. So I was glad to have these with me. I needed it. Two more face products, and they are powders as well. This is the Power Sculpt Velvet Bronzer from Haus Labs. I did wear this one. I wore both the cream and the powder. I love this. I love this. I brought shade 5. You know that's my jam. It's the one that's like a little bit more rosy toned. I wanted that sort of like sun-kissed vibe, and the rosy tones went with the makeup that I wore. And then just for kicks and giggles, I brought this Hourglass Ambient Strobe Lighting Blush in Incandescent Electra. I wasn't sure if I would use it. I did actually end up using it almost more like a blush topper, just to get a bit of glow and sheen on my cheeks. I loved it. Maybe it was a little bit too glowy for on camera, but I loved it. I can't have enough glow on my cheeks, so sue me. And you know, I really haven't purchased from Hourglass in a long time, but I have so many products that honestly, I really do love them. And so I want to get some use out of them. So I brought this one. Now, but Kelly, what did you use for eyeshadow? You're probably all wondering, right? So my main palette that I brought, I knew I would be able to get a beautiful, like, neutral but a little bit special look. I decided to bring the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 2 palette, mostly knowing that I was bringing it for the mattes. I wanted these like rosy neutral tones. I thought maybe I would pull in some of the shimmers, but I was feeling that extra. I was feeling that extra and that brave that I decided to pack some single shadows. And I pack shadows from brands that have very soft formulas. So if you all know me, you probably know the one shadow that I had to bring from Divina. Type it down in the comments if you feel like you know it. I'll wait. Okay, so I had to bring Divina Tucana. I love that one. It is what I ended up wearing. I just love the like subtle like pink to gold to peach shift that it has. I did also bring Mystic Moon Pie. I wasn't sure what I was gonna do, if I wanted something kind of contrasty. You know, I didn't end up wearing it, but I just brought it almost more as comfort. And then I brought 2 Glam Shop shades. I don't know where my magnet is right now. My desk, my vanity top right now is a hot mess. It's a hot mess from filming, and I don't know where my magnet is right now, but I will go ahead and put up here the 2 shades that I brought. But here you can see this is Divina Tucana and this is Mystic Moon Pie, and then we have the 2 shades from Glam Shop that I brought. So I did use one of these as my inner corner shade. So I just needed to have something that I knew that would be pretty and reflective and special. But both of these formulas are so soft and my heart was going to break. So I wanted something that would keep the shadows snug. So I used something that actually has like individual pan insets. And then I took one of my Shiseido cottons and I sort of like made a little bed. And then I like kept that in the compact. I was like, please, please, please. I prayed to the makeup gods and they are all safe and sound. They traveled to and fro with me. The other thing is because I knew I was taking carry-on, I knew that it would be me that was like toting this case around, not someone like shoving it, chucking it onto the airplane. So I felt pretty good about it. I knew I was taking a risk, but I felt pretty good about it, and it paid off because, again, I love my makeup. I will be posting that look from the shoot, by the way. I will be posting the look on Instagram, so if you do want to see it, go ahead and follow me at Keep Beauty Real. I'll probably be putting it up the day after this video goes live. But anyway, what else is in here? Tools. Let's talk a little bit about the brushes that I decided to take and other tools. So I did bring my Refer lash curler. I love this. This is great. It really does get every lash. It curls the lashes beautifully. The other products that I brought my Artis, oh, what number is this one? This is the Elite Oval 7. This is what I've been using recently. I really like it. And because I knew I just had my tinted moisturizer, I wanted something that I could just really buff into the skin and have a beautiful finish. So I brought that one. I also brought this like old, I think this was like, was it Chikuhodo? That was like in Sephora. This is the Pro Mini 55.5 that I got as my Rouge gift one year. I brought this to put on my like bronzer with. It worked really great. Let's see, I brought a Real Techniques brush, the base shadow brush. This one I brought to be able to use for my concealer. And then I brought the A07 brush from Spectrum. This is another, you know, it's like a big fluffy flat shader brush. This I really just used for like eyeshadow base. So then for other face brushes, I brought my Wayne Goss airbrush. I cannot not have this brush. This is great for under eye setting. You can even contour with it. You can blush with it. You can highlight. It's so great. I basically always travel with one of these. I also brought the Wayne Goss No. 3 blush brush. I brought it. It's a brush. I brought it for blush. Wow. This is what I used for that Hourglass blush. It's beautiful. And then I did bring 6 eye brushes. So I brought my Makeup Geek foiled eyeshadow brush. Mostly I grabbed this one because it's really been good for getting up shadows that don't pick up very well. And that's how I feel about the ones in the Patrick Ta palette. So I thought like, ooh, this is kind of a toothy brush. It'll probably be good with that if I do decide to use that. And I did use a couple shimmers from that in my look that day. So that was a great one to have. I also brought this random old crown brush. It's actually a lip brush, but this is what I use a lot to like pack on inner corner or do brow highlight. So it's just like a random one. I brought a Sigma pencil brush. This is the E30. Honestly, y'all, like these are not necessarily my like go-to must-haves, but they're what A, was clean, and B, like what I knew would still work. I did bring 3 like blending brushes. I wanted a small, medium, and a large blender, so I have the 13 and 14 from Refer. They look like they need to be washed and shaped again, and then I brought the Wayne Goss 17. So these were really just like, I needed something fluffy to be able to blend, like, you know, more like the transition, and then I needed 2 detailers. And that's all I brought. Oh, hold on. The one brush that I didn't talk about, the one that I didn't talk about and the one that I said I hadn't used yet is the Sydney Grace powder brush. So I got this in my mystery bag in the Christmas and July sale. I took it along with me to use for touch-up powder, and it was great. It was really great to use all over the face. I think that that's the only way I will use this brush though. It is quite big. Unless like I was doing like body bronzing or something, maybe I would use it for that, but this for me is just for like setting powder. But it's very nice and soft. I was pleasantly surprised. Nothing against Sydney Grace, but I wasn't expecting a lot from these brushes. I didn't get any others in the sale. I really don't need any more brushes. What I need to do is wash some more brushes, but I really don't need to buy any more brushes. But I'd be curious to know if you did get some, please let me know what you think down below. How do you think I did? Did I bring too much? Did I not bring enough? I feel like it was pretty good. I used a lot of it, and what I didn't use, I was glad to have with me. So hopefully you found this little like walk through my makeup bag, through my travel bag. I definitely feel like having both creams and powders at my disposal was great. Depending on how I felt that morning, I could have used one or the other, and as it went, I just felt extra and I used them all. So yeah, I don't really have that many regrets. Again, I just wish that I had maybe had something a little less glowy. I'm definitely grateful that my eyeshadows didn't shatter, and I hope that you enjoyed this. You'll have to let me know what are some things that you have to travel with. What are some things that you usually leave behind if you're just doing a hop, skip, and a jump, quick travel? I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching, lovelies, and I will see you really soon.